Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Warning. Due to the subject matter, I go on many different tangents in this video. You have been warned. Thank you, and please have a nice day. Warning. This video will contain spoilers for the 1968 movie Barbarella and possible spoilers for the 2025 remake. Furthermore, it should be noted this video may contain images of Jane Fonda's bare breasts. You have been warned. Thank you, and please have a nice day.
Hello and welcome to this video. Today's video is something of an unplanned video. I was surfing around the internet, just minding my business, just kind of thinking I've done all the Aliens movies and the Genx stuff, and what am I going to do next? Then I came across an article talking about a remake of the 1968 movie, and it's technically a movie, Barbarella, starring Sydney Sweeney in the titular role of Barbarella. So that got me thinking about the original 1968 Barbarella and the 1962 comic series, or started in 1962, of Barbarella, of a French comic. So I did some prodding around and some rabbit hole diving, and you know what? I decided this could be a cool video. It could be a fun video. It can be a light video. Because who doesn't like hypersexualized female? Well, not really hypersexual. Well, yes. Technically, from the pictures I've seen from the remake and some of the stuff I've read about the remake, yes. And the original, let's face it, the original Jane Fonda Barbarella is hypersexualized. So yeah, it's kind of crazy out there. But they're both interesting because 1968 Barbarella is looked at as a vision or a nutshell. In a nutshell, the sexual liberation, the sexual freedom movement of that time period. That a person, especially a female, was free to use their body the way they wanted to use it, whether they wanted to be a nun or a prostitute or anything in between. So, and those mores, that whole liberal concept of, I'm going to adjust my camera real quick. The whole, adjusted it the wrong way. There we go. The whole idea of feminism and sexual freedom and stuff has that liberal concept has become more and more conservative over time. I have read articles in the last 5 years or so, probably the last 3 to 5 years, basically in which feminism is telling women what they can and can't do with their body. If you're a feminist, you'll do this, this, this. But if you're a trad wife, you're going to do this, this, this. And you can't be a trad wife and a feminist. And trad wife is short for traditional wife. The stay at home, in the kitchen, barefoot, pregnant, pumping out a unit every 9 months, female. But it's become this more, where in the 60s it was, it's your body, you do what you want it with it. And now it's more of a, this is what we've decided you need to do with your body. And it's going to be interesting to see how this remake, if it tries to straddle the line between both concepts, the more liberal feminist versus the more conservative, matriarchal, hierarchy, authoritarian feminism that we have now. Or are they going to lean one way or the other way into it? That got my curiosity going. I think there should be a middle ground, but I have a penis and a prostate, so my opinion may not hold water. That there's got to be a middle ground between the absolute hedonistic, drug-addled, sex-fueled 60s and the authoritarian, dogmatic feminism of the 2020s. What's funny is all the articles and stuff, because I dug up some articles, and the articles tend not to reflect the people I talk to. I know people that are very feminist, and I know females that are lesbians and stuff that have this moderate, they're kind of in this moderate lane of, you do this is what I'm doing, but the articles and some of the influencers and stuff on YouTube, TikTok, and all that, you get these two extremes. Like I said, I don't think what you see necessarily in social media is the norm for the everyman. And I use man in the sense of mankind, the whole, everything that is Homo sapien, or the every woman. Okay, we'll say every person. There we go. Because I'm trying not to offend people, and because I am a product of the late 1900s, some of my terminology is out of date, and I apologize up front for it. But I think most of the people I've talked to people at the coffee shop here in town, and I think with the influencers and the people, I think they're kind of doing like a lot of the Star Wars fans. They embrace this negativity and they push hard into it because it gets clicks, it gets them notice, it gets them headlines, it gets them money. It's not, they may not necessarily believe what they're putting out, but they're doing it because it generates that dopamine hit they want. But the thing is, you go back to the 1962 comic. We'll back up, get back on track here about Barbarella. The 62 comic was basically sex goddess superhero in space. Sex goddess superhero in space. Don't say that really fast 100 times. Jean-Claude Forest created it. Jean-Claude Forest. See, that's weird. That's not a really tricky French name. And it ran till the late 70s. And he died in the late 90s, late 80s. Then it was picked up early in the 21st century. It's picked back up and went back in. New writers. He's still listed from what I've read on the internet, however accurate that is. He's still he's still given credit for his part in it. The French having a more evolved outlook towards sex than what we do here in the puritanical America. Barbarella got around. Barbarella got some mileage. But she also is a kick-ass superhero. And feminine. Go figure. And in America, that's, we had Wonder Woman, who sometime in the early Silver Age and through the Bronze Age was of comics. Gold Age, Silver, Bronze Age was basically a secretary. There are comics where Wonder Woman's only role, these are Justice League of America. Yeah, Justice League of America, where Wonder Woman's only role in the comic is to get Superman, Batman cups of coffee. And in Europe, we have badass female using her body, knowing the value and agency of the little wet spot between her legs, and using it. It's just this contrast that not even in 2024 do we have those kind of feminine heroes, because of the one side of the political fence thinks women should be in the kitchen cooking dinner barefoot, pumping out a unit every 9 months, and the feminists think a woman should be sexless, business driven, oriented to overthrow the patriarchy at all costs. And yes, those are extreme views. They're the extreme one side and extreme the other side. But it's the extremes that get all the press. The more moderate, intelligent, free-thinking people are gonna know that there's middle ground and there's places, a woman can be a feminist. Decide that her place in the world is marrying a man, having kids, making him happy. And that's what makes her happy. And she can still be a feminist. She doesn't have to be this trad wife, bullshit poster child from one side of the political spectrum. She can still support women. She's at home, has her kids, she's happy, she's cooking the steak, she goes to the market every day. But at the same time, she fully supports the woman that doesn't want to get married, enjoys sex, doesn't care the partner, and doesn't want to have children, doesn't want to have family, wants to have a pretty good career and move that way through the world. These two people can be friends. Contrary to what your extremists on both sides of the political spectrum want to tell you, these people can be friends. And that's one of the things that's the reason why, this video is going to probably run long because I am going to go off at tangents. You know, I just know, I know the way I am. But no, this is in 1962. This Barbarella comic was so far out of the American. I don't think in an American, the average blue-collar American in 1962 could have handled that comic. I don't think a particular political person in 2024 could handle that comic. But, you know, it's what it is. Hell, I don't even think a lot of the leftists in America in this day and age can handle the comic. I think it's too liberal for them. Then we get into the movie. The 1968 movie Barbarella. Directed by Roger Vadim, who was Jane Fonda's husband at the time. The writers are credited as Jean-Claude Forrest, Terry Sutherland, Roger Vadim. Starring Jane Fonda, John Philip Law. What's interesting is evidently during the making of this particular movie, Jane Fonda's husband developed a serious dependency on alcohol and became really flaky. And from what I've read, some accounts I've read said he became abusive, both verbally and physically. I don't know how accurate they are. This movie was made. This movie was made cheaply. This movie was made with even for its day, very bad special effects. Because if you go other movies made in 1968 that had much, much better effects, you have the MGM 2001 Space Odyssey. You had My Cat Tearing Up My Room. Actually, no, that's not a movie. You had the where is it? Planet of the Apes by 20th Century Fox. 20th Century Fox seems to have pirated a lot of really good sci-fi back before it was brought into the House of Mouse. But yeah, Planet of the Apes, 2001 Space Odyssey. You know, both those had way better effects. I mean, they probably had a huge budget, but you know, Rosemary's Baby by Paramount Pictures at the time, that had vastly superior effects to it. But yeah, this movie, to say that it was bad is an understatement. To say that it has a cult following is an understatement. It is one of those movies, I don't think I own it. I know I watch it on Amazon Prime from time to time. It's just one of those ones that it probably falls into that it's so bad it's good category. Yeah, it's the effects, the script sucked. I mean, you can sit there and about 2 minutes of dialogue, you know exactly everything that's going to happen in the movie. The script writing on the 68 version is that atrocious, that bad. It also could be a fact with as many times as I've seen it over the last 30 years. But it's would I recommend the 1968 Barbarella to anybody? If you were of a certain mindset, if you're of the mindset of, we're going to go in, we're going to look at this, and we're going to use it as a reflection of what was going on in America, late 60s, early 70s. That I would recommend it highly if that's the reason you want to watch it. Because watching it for dialogue, script, effects, nah, it's not gonna have. It's not worth it. But if you want to see a bubble, a time capsule that reflects accurately of what was going on in America at that time, from probably about 1966 to about 1973. That bubble of time, that movie is a good reflection to. But if you're going into it expecting a good experience just as entertainment, you're going to be disappointed. Which leads me back to the remake in 2025. It's supposed to come out. I'm curious. I don't know if I'm curious enough to go see it in the theater or wait for it to stream. I don't know yet. It depends on how well they build it up, how well they execute the trailers and the advertising for it. I don't know. It's my biggest curiosity is, which direction are they going to lean into? Or are they going to take a good middle road, balancing out the extremes on the one side of the political fence and the other side of the political fence? It's curious. Are they going to try? Are they going to try to straddle it and be safe, or are they going to come in on either side a little piece with the fence in the middle and kind of do this and zigzag back and forth, intertwining it, which I think would be cool. I think that would make for a really, really good movie. A really good movie. The thing is, it's only been recently that, or for me, these images could have been out on the internet since 2022 when this movie was announced, and I heard it. I remember it being announced, but I also remember in the 2010s them trying to remake it. I remember them in the 2000s trying to remake it, the 90s, the 80s. They've been trying to this is one of those movies they've been trying to remake my whole life. The last at least 54 years that I know of, maybe 55 by the time this comes out. So in 2022, when they were like, we're going to remake Barbarella, I was like, yeah, okay, whatever. I've heard this one before. So now that it's actually off the ground, I believe they're getting ready to start production. I think the article on Screen Rant that I read said that they're finishing up pre-production and they're getting into the actual production, and they hope for a summer. I think it said summer release 2025. So there's that. Like I said, I am curious to see how they balance the sexual and the action and the script. Do they cater it for more of an international audience that has a more evolved outlook toward sexuality and female empowerment through sexuality, versus the puritanical, authoritarian American views on sex and sexuality? So, and that's it. And that's about it. I hope you enjoy this video. This one's running long. I did not plan on going on the tangents that I did. So, until next time, everyone, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?